Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that constant buzz in your head? You know, the one always pulling you somewhere else? Like maybe you're stuck replaying some awkward thing you said yesterday,
Mhm.
or you're already stressed about a deadline that's like weeks away. It feels like you're just trapped on this speeding thought train, right?
You're right.
And you
Yeah.
can't just get off and be here. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yeah, I think that resonates with a lot of people, that sense of not being fully present.
Well, if it does, you're definitely in the right place today because we're doing a deep dive into some material that honestly has really shifted things for a lot of folks. We're digging into excerpts from Eckhart Tolle's big one, The Power of Now, a guide to present moment awareness.
It's a classic for a reason.
Right. So, our mission here for you is really to pull out the core insights, those, nuggets of wisdom from Tolle's work. We want to show you sort of concisely how he suggests we can find this real sense of peace. And interestingly, not by changing what's around us, but by shifting how we relate to our own thoughts. Basically, stepping outside of what he calls the mind. It's kind of a shortcut to seeing why maybe, just maybe, a lot of our suffering isn't actually caused by life itself, but by our own internal landscape, our thoughts about it.
Exactly. And Tolle kicks things off with an idea that sounds simple, but it's actually pretty radical for most of us. That constant mental chatter you just mentioned, that stream of thoughts we think defines us.
Yeah.
He argues that's not who we really are, not fundamentally.
Okay.
Our true self, our actual consciousness, he says, it exists in this kind of quiet stillness underneath all that noise. It's the awareness watching the thoughts. And it's always, always available, but only in the present moment.
Wow. Okay, that's a big statement. It's definitely challenging.
Ah.
So, if we're not our thoughts, then what's the big deal about identifying with them? Why does he say so much suffering comes from doing just that?
Well, this is where he brings in a really crucial distinction. It's key to everything else, really. It's the difference between what he calls clock time and psychological time.
Clock time and psychological time. Yeah.
Clock time is, the practical stuff. Planning your day, setting an alarm, arranging a meeting for 3 p.m., learning from a past mistake so you don't repeat it. We need that. It's functional.
Sure, makes sense.
But the second you start obsessing about that 3 p.m. meeting,
Yeah.
like endlessly worrying, or you keep replaying old arguments in your head, or you're just catastrophizing about what might go wrong next week,
Ah.
that's when you've slipped into psychological time.
Okay, I see. It's the mental spin cycle.
Precisely.
Mhm.
And Tolle argues that's where most of our suffering actually comes from. It's the mind just constantly chewing on past hurts, anxieties, regrets, or projecting endless worries and what-ifs onto the future. This constant rumination, leaving in this mental movie of what was or what might be. It just yanks us out of the only time we actually live in, which is right now.
Yeah.
And that fuels all the anxiety, the regret, the feeling that something's always missing. Just that background hum of dissatisfaction.
It really does sound like a kind of mental prison we build without even realizing it. But okay, if we've been doing this for years, decades even, what about all the stuff we've already accumulated?
Yeah.
The emotional baggage. How does Tolle talk about that heavy residue from the past?
Right, that's a great question. And that brings us to another really powerful concept he introduces, the
Hey, let's
pain
go.
body. Yeah. It's not just like individual memories of hurt. He describes it as almost this semi-autonomous energy field inside us, made up of old, unresolved emotional pain. It's like an accumulation of all the past traumas, the hurts, the anger, the sadness that we haven't fully processed or released, both our own personal stuff, and he even suggests maybe some collective human pain too.
Wow. Okay, like an entity almost.
Kind of. And the really tricky part about this pain body, it wants to survive. It actually feeds on more negative emotion. Like it tracks,
It tries to generate more pain.
in a way, yes. So when something in the present triggers it, maybe a small criticism, a stressful situation, even just boredom, it can suddenly wake up, hijack you. And you might find yourself reacting way out of proportion or replaying old victim stories in your head or just feeling this wave of anger or sadness that seems totally disconnected from the actual current event.
Oh, I definitely recognize that feeling. Like a tiny spark setting off a huge bonfire inside. Or just feeling suddenly bleak for no obvious reason. So the key then is what? To notice it happening, to not get swept away by it.
Exactly. That's the crucial insight Tolle offers. Once you become aware of the pain body when it gets activated, once you can internally say, okay, that's my pain body kicking off, instead of just becoming the anger or sadness, you create space.
Right. You separate yourself from it a bit.
Yes. You choose not to identify with it. You don't feed it with more negative thoughts or emotional drama. You
Mm.
just observe it
Yeah.
without judging it, without fighting it.
Just watch it.
Just watch it. And this act of conscious presence, of witnessing the pain body without getting consumed by it, that's what he presents as the main path to dissolving it.
Yeah.
It starts to lose its power when it's met with awareness. It's the key to healing that old stuff.
So it always comes back to this core idea, presence, being really truly here. Tolle keeps hammering home that when you're fully present, not lost in the past or anxious about the future, you realize this moment right now isn't just a stepping stone. It's everything. It's all there is. Sounds almost too simple.
It does sound simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the freedom he describes that comes from really getting that. It's profound. It's not just a nice thought. It's a genuine shift in awareness. It literally frees you from that tyranny of psychological time we talked about. Imagine like stepping out of a really loud, chaotic street market into a quiet, open field.
Yeah. Okay. That sense of relief.
That's the feeling. And he argues this shift opens the door to a peace that was actually always there, underneath the noise. It was just hidden by all the mental activity.
And thankfully, he doesn't just leave us with the concept. He gives actual practical things we can do, right? Techniques to help us make that shift into being present. What are some of those tools he suggests?
Yeah, absolutely. He offers several, and they're all designed to help you disengage from that constant mental pull and anchor yourself in the now. One of the most well-known is just focusing on your breath.
Right, the breath.
Feeling the air come in, feeling it go out. It's always happening now, so it's a perfect anchor. Another one is observing your thoughts.
How does that work exactly?
Like you're an outside observer,
Yeah.
watching them drift by like clouds in the sky. You don't grab onto them, you don't judge them, you don't follow them down the rabbit hole. You just notice them. A thought about work. A worry.
Detached observation.
Exactly. He also really emphasizes using your physical senses to ground yourself. Like really feel your feet on the floor right now, or the warmth of the sun on your skin, or the texture of, say, the cup in your hand.
Bringing attention to the body.
Yes, these direct sensory inputs pull your attention out of the mental stories and into your immediate physical reality. The whole point is to quiet down that overactive mind and reconnect with that deeper inner stillness that he says is always there, just waiting. And, it can be challenging at first. The mind wanders. That's what it does. But he stresses just patiently, consistently bring your attention back. Each time you do, you're strengthening that presence muscle.
So it really all circles back to this fundamental shift in perspective. You are not your mind. You're the awareness behind the mind. That distinction, when you really let it sink in, it feels, well, incredibly freeing, like dropping a heavy weight you didn't even know you were carrying.
Absolutely. That's the core of it.
Yeah.
He encourages us to become the watcher, the witness of our thoughts, rather than being completely tangled up in them. It's not about trying to forcefully stop thinking, which is pretty much impossible anyway, but about changing your fundamental relationship to your thoughts, recognizing there's a deeper you, a silent observer, that's aware of the thinking process itself.
Okay, so thinking about who this really helps. Who benefits most from this deep dive? And really from grappling with Tolle's ideas in the power of now?
Well, I think his insights are particularly potent for anyone dealing with persistent emotional pain or maybe feeling really burnt out by the pace of modern life.
Yeah, the constant pressure.
Exactly. Or maybe experiencing that kind of spiritual restlessness.
Yeah.
That feeling that there must be something more meaningful than just chasing the next goal or acquisition. It really pushes back against that constant societal drive for more, more, more.
It offers a different path.
It really does. And what's so powerful is that it offers a way out of suffering that doesn't actually depend on changing your life circumstances. It's not about needing the perfect job or relationship to be happy.
Right.
It's about radically changing your relationship to this present moment, whatever it contains. You learn to stop identifying with the suffering, which means peace becomes accessible even when things outside are difficult.
So for you, listening right now, this stuff can genuinely help you just slow down. It can make you notice the simple beauty in everyday things you usually rush past. You might find you become less reactive when things get tough because you're not just automatically swept away by every emotion or old pattern that gets triggered. It really helps you see that peace isn't some faraway destination you have to strive for. It's more like coming home. It's what happens when you just stop resisting what is right now. It's not out there. It's always right here.
Yeah, beautifully put. And the huge impact of the power of now It's clear from how people talk about it. You often hear it described as, a deep, life-changing read, especially for anyone who feels ready to wake up from that kind of trance of constant thinking and start really living. Here,
Yeah.
now, in the present, it's about finding the peace that's already available just by shifting where you place your attention.
So, just to wrap up the core message, the real liberation offered in the power of now is this: realizing the present moment is literally the only reality you ever experience. And peace doesn't come from getting rid of your thoughts, but from learning to just watch them, to be the awareness behind them instead of being totally consumed by them.
And for you listening, what this means practically is maybe gaining some real clarity amidst all the noise and information overload we face every day. Feeling less overwhelmed, finding a deeper sense of okayness in your life, just by learning to consciously shift back to the richness of now.
Which leaves us with a final thought to maybe chew on. If peace isn't something we chase, but something we return to, where in your daily life right now are you maybe resisting the now, pushing against what is, and what might actually change just for you if you simply stop?